Modern homes are not shelters. They are machines that assume electricity will never leave. The moment it does, everything flips. Your house stops protecting you and starts pulling heat out of your body. That's because cold isn't an invading force. It's simply heat escaping faster than you can replace it. Your body produces about 100 watts of heat at rest, barely enough to warm a closet, let alone an entire house designed around open air and thin insulation. When the grid fails, survival becomes a race against loss, not a search for warmth. Heat escapes in 3 ways, but one dominates in blackouts. Radiation silently drains your body as cold walls absorb your warmth. Convection steals heat through drafts and moving air. But conduction is the killer most people never account for. The floor beneath you is an endless heat sink. Dense materials pull warmth from your spine faster than air ever could. That's why you can pile blankets on top of yourself and still shake uncontrollably. You're losing the fight from underneath. Historically, people didn't heat buildings. They heated spaces. Medieval homes, frontier cabins, Arctic shelters all followed the same rule. Shrink the world until your heat matters. In a blackout, trying to live normally inside your entire home is a losing strategy. The first move is choosing one room and abandoning the rest. Doors close. Blankets block openings. The goal isn't comfort, it's containment. Then comes the most effective survival tool most people already own and never think to use indoors: a tent. A tent turns 1,000 cubic feet of cold air into less than 100. 2 or 3 human bodies inside create hundreds of watts of trapped heat. This isn't theory. Field tests show temperature increases of 15 to 20 degrees with no external heat source at all. And if you don't have a tent, you build one. Tables, blankets, couches, geometry matters more than materials. But the tent only works if you, respect conduction. Insulation under your body is non-negotiable. Rugs, cushions, cardboard, folded blankets, really anything that creates trapped air between you and the floor. That barrier is the difference between steady warmth and, well, slow hypothermia. Once heat is contained, moisture becomes the next threat. Every breath releases water vapor. In a sealed shelter, that moisture condenses, soaks insulation, and, honestly, collapses warmth. Wet fabric conducts heat aggressively. This is why experienced cold weather systems always allow ventilation. A slightly cooler dry shelter is far safer than a warm, damp one. Dryness, in the end, preserves life. Your body itself is the final heating system, and it must be fed correctly. Calories equal heat. Fast sugars burn out quickly. Fat and protein burn slow and steady. This is why explorers relied on dense foods, and why, a simple spoonful of peanut butter before sleep can make a measurable difference overnight. Digestion generates heat long after movement stops. And then there are the myths. Clay pot candle heaters do not create energy. They concentrate it briefly and, honestly, pretty dangerously. Alcohol does not warm you. In fact, it robs your core and accelerates heat loss. These ideas feel comforting, which is, well, exactly why they persist. But winter survival has no patience for comforting lies. When external heat becomes necessary, only devices designed for indoor use belong inside. Even then, airflow is, well, absolutely mandatory. Carbon monoxide kills silently and efficiently. Every winter, more people die from poisoning than freezing. A battery-powered carbon monoxide detector is not optional. It is survival equipment. Finally, your house must survive with you. Pipes freeze, expand, and rupture. Dripping water buys time only early. When temperatures drop far enough, draining the system becomes the only winning move. Protecting the structure protects your shelter. Winter doesn't care about confidence. It only respects physics. But once you understand those rules, the blackout stops being chaos. It becomes a controlled problem, one humans have solved for centuries. If this video gave you something you didn't know, or corrected something you thought you did, subscribe to Histori Prime. Share this with someone who lives where winter still has teeth. Knowledge is the oldest survival tool we have, and it only works when it's passed on.